Good morning and welcome to the 2017 IWF World Championships. We are live at the Anaheim Convention Center in Anaheim, California, and we're ready to begin lifting in the women's 53 kilogram B category. On behalf of the International Weightlifting Federation, this session is streamed live by USA Weightlifting in partnership with their media partner, Barbend.com. I'm David Tao, and I'm joined by USA Weightlifting CEO Phil Andrews to bring you the action in today's opening session. Phil, great to have you on the stream.
Thank you, David, and pleasure to be here. And a little bit of a pleasure to take some time from organizing the event.
I'm thrilled, but and maybe a little bit surprised that you've been able to take the time, and we really do appreciate having you on this morning. And hopefully we'll be able to ask you some questions and get kind of the insider's perspective on what it's like to organize an event at such a massive scale. Not the only big event you've been in charge of organizing this year.
Thank you. And this has been a challenge and a tremendous honor for the United States to host the World again here in Anaheim. I've got a tremendous team, but first of all, we have some lifters coming to the platform.
And our first lifter for this session will be Rachel Hayes of Israel. She's opening at 66 kilograms. Great looking stage there.
Pretty good to me.
Yep, that's the way you want to open a session, you know. And yesterday we kicked off the action with two B sessions as well, the women's 48 kilogram B and the men's 62 kilogram B, as we watched a replay of Hayes' lift here. There was some great action yesterday, but also a good bit of red on the board. We did have some bomb outs. We did have a little bit of gamesmanship and some good back and forth even in those B sessions. So hopefully we'll get today started off on a good run of some made lifts here. And even though the action started yesterday afternoon, the opening ceremonies were last night. And so this is kind of the first full day of action here in Anaheim.
It is. We were able to have only one session, A group, for the 56 kilo category, which meant happily we have Brian Riesenauer from the USA in the A group. And that allowed us a morning off yesterday, which I can believe me was tremendously appreciated by everybody.
All right, this will bring up Freya Morrow of Great Britain, opening at 69 kilograms.
Nice job by Freya.
Now we've seen her open around 69 or even 70 kilograms a couple of times over the past year, including at the Junior Worlds in Tokyo earlier this year, where she actually opened with 70 kilograms. So,
yeah, she's a promising young lifter over there in Great Britain. They're pretty high on her expectations. I actually had a brief amount of breakfast with both Ireland and Great Britain this morning, and Freya was there, and she looked pretty confident going into this, so hoping for a good total from her.
All right, the lifter again becomes Hayes, her second attempt, 69 kilograms.
No luck for Hayes. I wonder if Hayes is Israeli-American or Israeli-British. The name suggests to me she's most likely not full-blood Israeli.
Well, let's take a look at this. I thought this was quite a fight here at the bottom, and she kind of strays a little to the left. I thought she actually might have a chance at that for a split second, but not able to stabilize.
Well, yeah, right. She never really got quite fixed out there. She'd probably been able to stand up if she just got that into position. She was an inch away or so, but good for Rachel. I'm sure she'll come back and make a third. And she made her opener, and ultimately, we all know that make your opener is the most important thing in weightlifting, or one of the most important things. I don't think there's a single coach who says, please don't make your opener.
Just build up the drama a little bit.
That's
Excite
exactly
everyone.
it. Exactly. You want to give them, it's like being fashionably late to a party. You want to give one miss, so you have some expectation, you know?
Well,
talking of openers, I'm pretty surprised to see Yeni Torres from Colombia in the B group. I don't know how I missed that when I was looking at the star groups, but that shows you the quality of the A session to come this afternoon with Caitlin Hogan and the Team USA and several other the top lifters in the world in this category. But when Colombia's in the B group, something special's coming in the A group.
Well, this will be Hayes' third and final attempt in the snatch. As far as I can tell, this would be an international competition PR for her by 2 kilograms. So the most we've ever seen her do up a weight class was 67 kilograms, and that was back in 2016.
Good job for her. Oh, almost duck walked it out, but yeah, good attempt. She was 66, and as you rightly say, her highest in 58s actually was 67. So opening with 66, 1 kilo below your international PR is certainly not too bad.
Well, if there's one stage to do it, it's this one, and you can see right there. I thought that her knee did not touch the platform there, but it came close on that duck walk.
That's what I was expecting it to go. I saw her knee going down there, and you see. She perhaps is too experienced to do that, but you see that with many less experienced lifters with the knee. But it was interesting to see her not do that. So we've got Brun coming up for Denmark. Denmark? Correct. Yes, Denmark.
That's correct.
It's nice to see so many of these Nordic countries entering teams into a non-qualification worlds. Some of these smaller nations, such as Denmark, Sweden's got a team here. We've got a good, nice setup.
All right, opening attempt for Bryn. 71 kilograms. The heaviest we've actually ever seen her open on the international stage. So. All right, has to chase it forward a little bit, but that'll be a good lift. And that's certainly significantly up on what we've seen her open in Split, Croatia a little bit earlier. In 2017, she opened at 65 kilograms in this bodyweight category. So let's watch the replay here. 6 kilos up on her previous international opener, as far as we know. Looking pretty strong. Caught that really high. Just had to walk it out a little bit, but no problem for her. And this will bring up Giorgia Russo of Italy, opening at 72 kilograms.
This is another athlete which the home federation is definitely pretty excited about. And her progress. Italy have become bullish with this competition, I think, a little bit. Let's pause it now. Oh, that's probably why.
Yep.
Italy have been a really solidly progressing federation. I'd like to think the US is the fastest increasing federation in terms of results.
You might be a little biased, but
I may have a small bias. I am also, don't ignore my comments on Great Britain too, because I have a bias there. And maybe not so much attention to Canada because I'm technically Canadian too. So
what citizenships don't you have, Phil? We'll talk about that after Frere Maro's second attempt here.
I have no Vietnam passport.
Fair enough. Okay.
No luck for Frere.
Really high hip start position there. Just not able to save that. So she'll have one more attempt.
I think GB have taken a strategy as well, this particular competition of entering a younger team. They've got some injury problems with some of their higher profile lifters. Sarah Davis is here with a really nice total in the A group. She's in 6th on the start list in the A group. But she's here, I think, to get some experience at the senior level. I think it'd be fair to say for Frere.
Frere is one of 2 junior lifters. We have also a youth lifter in this session. So certainly on the younger side and a part of that young British squad here. A lot of young teams this year we've noticed.
I think that's pretty traditional in the first year of the Olympic quadrennial. Many teams are looking for their national team for the Olympic Games, that same quad. And you often see a turnover of lifters. We've certainly seen that with the Colombian entries this year, and a number of the other bigger teams.
All right, third attempt, Morrow. not able to secure it, loses it backwards. So we'll check out the replay here. I think she kind of maybe tried to sneak under that barbell a little too quickly. But she will be credited with her opener at 69 kilograms. Check out the replay here. Yeah, never really had great control on that one.
No, I think there was no chance on that one. But let's see how Denmark can do.
And if successful, this would be an international competition PR for Brun. So
yeah, another relatively inexperienced lifter, not as young, but young in terms of her international career. I suspect she probably came from another sport, possibly through CrossFit, into weightlifting.
all right, looks pretty good to me. Like her first attempt, has to chase it forward just a little bit. That's good enough for 3 white lights. And Phil, you mentioned that. That's a trend I've noticed among a lot of the Nordic athletes as well. A lot of them will come over from a previous sport, or they'll have found weightlifting through CrossFit, or maybe transitioning from gymnastics. Great looking lift there. And I was fortunate enough this morning, I actually rode the bus over to the convention center with most of the Icelandic team. And you'll be hard-pressed to find friendlier people.
Oh, they're just great. They're Asgir, their president of the Icelandic Federation. Is just a wonderful dude. I mean, he's great to work with, very friendly, very controversial. He's very nice guy. And here's Norway, speaking of Nordic countries. The only one that starts with Nor.
All right, that's a great opener for Ovstis of Norway. All right, we're at 75 kilos on the bar. She was the first athlete to open with that. And that's kind of in this B session, the kind of marker I think it's going to separate the bottom half and the top half of the session as far as athletes opening around that range.
And that's probably right. We're seeing Vietnam come up now. Vietnam are famous for their good small lifters. You know, they tend to show up and leave a competition before we've started the heavyweights. 85 or above, they're not here. 69 or above, they're not here. It's again interesting to see them and Colombia showing up in the B group, and maybe Spain as well. I'd throw into that category.
All right, maybe comes up a little fast on that for the lifter. This is the first we've ever seen her compete internationally as a 53.
What's she been doing before 48?
She is traditionally a 48 kilo lifter.
I wonder if they saw some opportunities in 53 versus what is a very deep 48 category. Both these categories really, especially in the A groups, are pretty close. The 48 and the 53, but you traditionally see some movement between those two bodyweight categories. It's many countries in the world. Their culture doesn't lend itself to having a 48 kilo natural athlete. Although I did speak to an ex-softball player 2 weeks ago who was getting started in weightlifting, for whom she would struggle to be 44 kilos. It's the first time I might have had that conversation. And good luck to her. We hope she does well and it becomes a solid 48 for us, or whatever that category becomes, of course. We can talk about that in a bit. Seeing now Mauritius, Ranavasova, and I probably have absolutely butchered that name.
I think it was close. I think you're pretty close. Solid looking opener for her. Mauritius is on the board.
Yep, I'm mildly expecting Avanish Pandey from Mauritius, who's back home, member of the IWF Coaching and Research Committee, and a really good guy to correct me on that pronunciation in a few minutes.
If your phone will light up in just a second.
So if I pronounce it differently during the clean and jerk, that's what's happened.
All right. That's a good looking lift for Rousseau on her second attempt, the lifter from Italy. not using much of that 1 minute clock she had, so making quick work of her second attempt there. Let's check out the replay. Great technician. I can certainly see why the Italian Federation is bullish on this young lifter.
Yeah, very, very nice performance from the Italians so far. And 75 is a good level snatch in the 53s. It is. I mean, I think the interesting thing is we've got no C group here, like we had in Houston. So I think rather than the C moving up to the B, it's more of a there is no C.
Mm-hmm. We certainly do see something that's a bit of a spread in this session. All right. Here's No's second attempt. And again, seems to have some stability issues standing that lift up, closer than on the first attempt, but not quite there. She's a lifter who we've seen go as high as 82 kilograms in the snatch, but a body weight category down. So we know it's well within her capabilities, but check out the replay here. Something just not quite clicking yet today for her.
No.
Very fast, and you know, she was 95% of the way there, just not able to stand up all the way and secure it overhead to get the down signal. So she'll be following herself 2 minutes on the clock. One of 3 junior athletes in this session. We have a youth athlete in this session we have yet to see. Phil mentioned her a little earlier in the broadcast. A little surprised to even see her in the B session, actually.
Yeah, I was really not expecting that. Yeni Torres. Very, very talented lifter from Colombia. And really, I'm surprised to see any Colombian in the B group, if I'm totally honest.
Well, compared to the Pan American Championships earlier this year, where they just seemed to be at the top of every session they were in.
Where we just simply put the Colombian anthem on the piece and then sort of left it there.
It saved a lot of time.
It did. It was just a efficient way to do things, really.
All right, this is a make-or-break situation for her. Every other lifter we've seen so far in this session has made at least one successful attempt, so this is to stay in the running to post a total here.
No luck for Vietnam.
Loses that one behind. You know, it's she looks strong in the pull and in a lot of the phases of the lift today, but just not able to put it all together. So still has a chance to come out and make clean and jerks, but unfortunately will not post a total today.
Yeah, she's the first one to. That was much nicer.
That's her best looking one yet. All right, she's 3 for 3.
Yeah, no, good for her. She's happy. Good day at the office for her. No red lights of shame, as I've begun to call them. We have, for those who haven't seen, when there's no lift and it's not so clear on the webcast, in-house the lights all go red on the platform. Not just the 3 lights for the referees, but the lights actually covering the platform go red. It's an idea we picked up from Great Britain, actually. They do that in the national championships, and it's sort of fun.
So you really know you didn't make the list.
Yes, you really do. What's interesting is if there's a jury stop, and we have to change that to the golden, very nice party lights for the making the lift.
All right, this will, looks like we do have a change, so this will bring up the first lift of the lifter from India, and I might have a little bit of difficulty with this name. Kumacham, I think.
Kumacham.
Opening at 77.
If anybody can correct us on that, we'd more than happily take your advice. That looked pretty good to me.
Yeah, great opener.
Nice and solid. India have been in camp in Las Vegas for a couple of weeks going into this competition and been here in the US for some time now. Almost a month they'll be here by the time they leave. And that's very nice to see the solid opener there. And she's looked, from what I understand, pretty good during training camp, pretty good in the training hall too. And the Indian team have been a pleasure to work with that whole time.
Yeah, not a lot to say bad with that lift. This will bring up the third and final attempt for Rousseau.
Less good than the first two. The first two I'd have put money on her making all three, but you never know sometimes.
We can watch on the replay here. Just kind of looks slow off the ground.
Yeah, I didn't quite have the acceleration that she did on the first two lifts.
Yeah, never kind of stayed, never kept attention on that. Well, this will bring out the first attempt for a lifter we've mentioned several times so far during this session. Yeni Torres of Colombia, a lifter we have seen on the international stage several times. She is still a youth lifter, birth year of 2000, and a lifter who I've personally come to really admire and actually love watching her compete. Her technique is pretty exciting to watch. So let's see her open here with 78 kilograms. Colombia, one of really the premier weightlifting countries in the world at the moment. And we'll watch on the replay a good bit of movement in her start and bringing the bar off the ground, but it works for her.
Yeah, they've done. I mean, it's their technique is always pretty good. We've had great experience with them in the Pan American region, and it's no surprise to see her just basically abuse that barbell.
So, Phil, for those just tuning in to this women's 53 kilogram B session here at the 2017 IWF World Championships, it seems like just yesterday there was another IWF World Championships on American soil, and that's because for the first time they're consecutive.
Correct. We had the 2015 Worlds in Houston, Texas, and you'll see a number of hallmarks of that event here. We're very proud to have it for a second time. And yeah, hosting back-to-back World Championships is exciting. There's been several times in the last month where I've wondered exactly why I signed up for this event, and questioned my own sanity, quite frankly. But it's tremendous honor to host it. I'm excited to see Team USA get underway later today, and looking forward to calm down a little bit so we can, as an organizing committee, enjoy what's happening.
All right, second attempt for Ostis of Norway. Had a great looking opener at 75. All right, nice patience in the bottom. Comes away with a good second attempt, so she's 2 for 2 so far. Check out the replay here. And while we're checking out her second attempt here on the replay, Phil, you'd be hard-pressed to find any organizing committee for any federation that's been busier than USA Weightlifting has been this year, because not only are you hosting the Worlds and obviously a litany of national events, including some new ones this year, you also hosted and organized the Pan American Championships.
Correct, which is a very different event to this. We did that in Miami, Florida, at the Mississauga Resort on the Mississauga Indian Range. I'll pause a little bit so we can watch the lift.
All right, does have to duck walk it a little bit, but comes away with a good lift. Let's check out that replay there. That takes a pretty supreme level of mobility and core stability, but she makes it work.
Yep, and I think Mauritius has either 1 or 2 lifters here, so yeah, hoping for a very nice performance here, and good for her if she comes up and makes her third too.
All right, 2-minute clock in Novasoa. Looks like, I think we will have a change here, actually. Looks like they might be keeping that 2-minute clock, actually. All right. All right. Yep, we do have a change, and that will bring up Lopez Farah of Mexico.
Mexico have been, again, another team that's been reasonably consistent in their improvement, especially at the youth levels. They've done a great job in managing their youth program. Azero Martinez, they're one of the head youth coaches, and the guy who's coaching here is Zhao from China. Have really done a good job bringing that program along, along with their female high performance director. I say female only because that's the old. I remember that specifically, but I don't remember her name. I want to say it was Anna, but I don't specifically remember.
Great looking opener from Lopez Farah. And we actually, in front of me, I have results for her competition history going all the way back to the 2009 Youth World Championships in Chiang Mai, where as a 48 kilogram lifter, she finished with a 52 kilogram snatch. So,
oh wow,
we have.
That's a significant improvement.
You know, over the past, yeah, it's interesting to see. We have really detailed competition history for her over the past 8 years. So, looking forward to chatting more about her, and this will bring up the opening attempt for
Teneri Hernandez Martin.
Oh, Spain.
Of Spain.
A lifter you said you were a bit surprised to see here in the B session as compared to BA.
Yeah, we saw her train again in Vegas, much like India, and we were very, very impressed with this whole Spanish team. Of course, highlighted by Lydia Valentin, but the entire team was tremendously impressive. So I'm surprised to see her as well as the Colombian in this B group.
And maybe that's why. Solid looking opener for Hernandez Martin.
And some people do deliberately, for whatever reason, put them in the B group. I had a country who was not going to be here for the verification meeting and asked me to place their total in. And I said, what total do you want? They told me. And I said, you realize it's going to put you in the B group? They said, yes, that's our point. So, okay, no problem. We can make that happen.
It's not entirely unheard of to have lifters medal or even win out of the B group at World Championships. So, and that'll be a no lift for Kumuk Jam of India. Didn't quite get the bar high enough there on the pull. Check out the replay here. And as Phil mentioned earlier on the stream, this World Championships is the first of the 2020 quad, as we like to call them in weightlifting. We have a total of 328 lifters from more than 60 nations.
Yeah, it's an impressive total for championships after the Olympic Games. In Wrocław, Poland, they had, in the 200s, I think it was about 240 or so. Of which, of course, 15 were from the United States and 15 more from Poland. And that was with, of course, the 9 countries who are not present due to their doping issues in their country. Well, that didn't look too solid from Sarah Ostas from Norway, but she goes away with a 78 kilo total. And again, these are nice totals coming out, or nice snatch numbers coming out of this B group. Obviously not so much for Vietnam, but very nice lifting through into this Colombian, Spanish, Mexican group, as well as Mauritius and India still.
Yeah, definitely.
And we've got Spain and Mexico both in at 83, and that's again a very, very nice number. That might lead on to an 85 or an 86, and that's healthy numbers. Bear in mind, it was a 200 kilo total that was the bronze medal in 2013, and that was the next one down is in the 190s. So this is if you can go from in the high 180s, come into the low 110s in the clean and jerk, you're right in the 190s. For those of you who need math,
that's most of us at this point,
including me. I have a calculator handy.
And that'll be no lift for Soa of Mauritius. She will be credited with her second attempt at 78 kilograms, so we'll see her in just a little bit coming out for the clean and jerks as we enter the back third of the snatch portion of the women's 53 kilogram B session. We chatted a little bit earlier. We have over 60 nations represented here in Anaheim, and that is with 9 nations which are currently suspended from international competition. So very diverse showing here.
It's again, nice numbers. We were surprised by how many entries we got. I will highlight, we are very, very sad to not have DPR Korea. They chose not to enter. We can all speculate as to the reasons why. Whether that's to do with the Junior World Championships being taken away, or whether that's to do with our own.
All right, well, we have Sinistera Torres coming out for her second attempt after what looked like a piece of cake on her first. And much the same with that lift. She's excited. She's showing her enthusiasm. No question about that. She's pretty fantastic snatcher here. And Phil, you had mentioned not having.
Wow.
Yeah. The DP.
If you're watching at home and haven't snatched, that's how.
That's how you just do that, and you're good to go.
Yeah. It honestly is just that easy.
Oh, it's so much easier to talk about
lifting. It is. Notice how I'm not competing.
I ran into my old coach, Dennis Reno, yesterday when we were about to kick off the competition, and he told me point blank, no ifs, ands, or buts, David, I never thought you'd make it to the World Championships.
Huh. Well, look, we're glad to help.
You know, and it's, some of us do it in a non-traditional sense, not as athletes.
Yes, yes. I've been to the World Championships and the Olympic Games, but never as an athlete.
I think that ship might have sailed for us, Phil.
I still hold out some help. I'm waiting for bowling to get into the Olympic Games.
All right, great looking lift for Lopez Ferrer.
She looks in nice shape, same as Yeni Torres from Colombia, and the Spanish athlete Hernandez Martin coming up now. They've all looked tremendous in their openers, and in the case of the Mexican and Colombians, the second. It's I guess to be culturally appropriate, BBN.
All right, here we have the second attempt for Hernandez Martin at 83 kilograms. Looked very strong on her first. Just 4 more attempts left in the snatch portion of this 53 kilogram B session.
And having said she looks solid in our opener, not so much on the second attempt. I think I might have jinxed the Spanish.
And she points to her head right after that lift. It's mental.
Yeah.
She has to make the mental corrections.
Yeah, and she's looked great in training here in Anaheim, but also out in Las Vegas. So I would say that's probably an accurate diagnosis by Hernandez Martin there.
And Phil, you talked earlier, the DPRKs, unfortunately, not at this World Championships. They did have a good presence in Houston in 2015. Did very well there.
They did.
And another country that is well represented here in Anaheim is Iran.
Absolutely.
And
I'm very happy about it.
There was a little bit of there were a few question marks, especially with one of their lifters, one of their more accomplished, more famous lifters.
Janusz Rostami.
But he was able to secure a visa with big help from USA Weightlifting and the U.S. Olympic Committee.
And the U.S. Department of State, yes. That looks like she might have mentally prepared a little bit more for this particular lift.
Yeah, I think she's fired up for this one. 90% of the game is half mental.
I like that.
closer, but still loses that in front. So she will be credited with her opening attempt at 80 kilograms, and we'll see her in just a bit for the clean and jerks. We're down to our final 2 snatches here in the women's 53 kilogram B session at the 2017 IWF World Championships, hosted and presented by USA Weightlifting. For Barbend.com, the official media partner of USA Weightlifting, I'm David Tao, joined on the commentary by Phil Andrews. Like I said, just 2 more lifts to come in this session, one of which belongs to Yeni Torres of Colombia, a youth lifter, but don't let her age fool you. She's got quite the competition history under her belt.
Yes, she does. She's a very experienced lifter. She's very tall for a 53, and very long limbs for a 53. I've been waiting for her to go, frankly, to 63 for a long time, let alone 58, just because of her sheer height. But, you know, she does tremendously well, given, I wouldn't say deficiencies, but those physics.
All right, we'll check out the replay there, but does miss that behind her.
Yeah, she made 85 earlier this year.
I actually think one result I don't have up in front of us, Phil, and that's my fault, is I don't have her performance at the Pan Ams this year.
Yeah,
I think she actually might have done 86 there.
Which makes sense. So a little surprised to see only 81 on the board for her, but putting my Team USA biased hat on for a moment, that helps us out with Caitlin Hogan potentially. So,
who we will see in the A session.
We will see in the A group. She is a 198 entry total. She matched the American record at 193 in Miami, held by Melanie Roach or Melanie Kozov. And we're hoping that we see that disappear. We boosted her total up a little bit to make sure she got into the A and was successful. And there's still plenty of room to get good openers on the board.
Oh, just misses it behind. So that will conclude the snatch portion of the women's 53 Bs here. Just one lifter going 3 for 3 in this session, and that was Katrine Brun of Denmark. But we'll watch the replay here of Anna Lopez Ferreira's final lift. All right, folks, well, we will be back in 10 minutes for the clean and jerk portion of this session. Until then, I'm David Tao, joined by
Phil Andrews.
Thanks so much for tuning in. Don't go anywhere.